Hi, Jason at Club Champion UK today, and we're going to do something slightly different. I know it's putt a month for Club Champion around the world, but I'm going to do something slightly different this time. And I'm going to go down a wedge matrix concept. Now, there's a guy called Joseph Mayo who was on track. Well, his handle name was Trackman Maestro on Twitter, or X as it's called now, but he's obviously quite busy on Instagram, and he's helped Hoiveland massively with his short game. And he's talking about angle of attack getting steeper and this triad of spin loft, 15-yard carry, 5,000 revs, launching it under 30 degrees. So what I'm going to do something a little bit different. These are 54-degree wedges. They're the same bounce. Okay, you've got two TaylorMades and one Vokey, but the same bounce. They're all 10 degrees. And what we're going to do, we're going to give it a run and see if we can create that. It might go a bit more than 15 yards, might go 20, but we're going to see if we can get 10, 11 degrees of attack angle and seeing which one of these shafts performs the best to hit that Joseph Mayo triad window. Now you've got a Project X wedge shaft at 5.5, you've got a 105 wedge from Modus, which is about 112 grams, and you've got an Accra 120 green. So kind of keeping all in the same sort of vein and seeing which one comes out with that best window and seeing if the shaft can eliminate or accentuate that window. Now this is live, this is literally one take, one time, one go. I have no idea where this is going to go. It could be a disaster, but we're going to give it a go and see what happens. Hit three with each, so hit three with each. Yeah? That's a bit of a chunk. Oh. Okay, so here's the results of those like 10, 12 wedge shots. Now for those interested, they were Pro V1X, brand new out of the packet, off a mat, using the quad as you can see from the sort of tables here. So again, you know, variation of Trackman to quad, yeah, we can discuss that some other time, but these are the numbers that we've seen today. So you can see that the Accra 120 shaft, the slightly heavier shaft, apart from one anomaly, was creating a bit more spin than say the Project X, which was butt stiff, tip stiff, and the Modus 105, again, two pretty similar, one variation there. So you can see that heavier shaft. So interestingly, that theory of the heavier shaft being better in a wedge, you can kind of see it here working out a little bit better. Again, launch angles wise, again, the slightly heavier shaft creating a slightly lower launch angle, and then the lighter shaft creating potentially a little bit of a higher number. You expect to see that. Lighter shafts create more launch. We expect to see that. Descent angle, again, pretty similar, coming in a little flat and spinny, a bit old school, you know, that sort of grabby one. Okay, if you go to the next one. And you can see here, hitting down very positively, again, heavier. Again, the heavier shaft, creating the more attack angle. Again, you expect to see that, steeper. And again, with the lighter shaft, pretty leveling out at 10.8, 10.3 and 11.6. So a degree more attack angle with the heavier shaft. You can see the path was going left, you expect that, down and left. And importantly, the rate of closure here, for someone who's really flippy like I am, that's low for me. You can see a little high one in there, a little chasey one. Those of you who've got yip chips, that's going to be a big number because you're going to see that number go really through the roof. If you get someone who's really Lexi Thompson on it, that number will be really, really high. So you can see from there that the methodology of a slightly heavier wedge shaft definitely works. For those who are interested, you obviously look at Joseph Mayo's stuff. That's really interesting, that if you've got a lighter wedge, doing this mechanics is going to be hard for you. If you want to try and replicate that feel, then you need to go a little bit heavier in the wedges. So interesting study, literally Monday morning, 12 shots and see what happens, but very good to see what we thought happens does happen.